Border Patrol Chief Commander Gregory Bovino has said that you have escalated the threat level that they're facing. Their agents are getting doxxed. Their agents face threats. You call them things like jackbooted thugs. Are you adding fuel to the fire here to this tinderbox?
No, you remember this is the same guy that goes around thinking he's a social media influencer, filming himself saying provocative things. They brought cameras around the South Shore building when they attacked that building and took, there are 130 people who live in that building, and only a few were being targeted as gang members, and yet they arrested, detained the entire building, including children and the elderly. So Gregory Bovino lies consistently, as does Kristi Noem, the president, the vice president of the United States. It's a tidal wave of lies, and it
Interesting that he should say a tidal wave of lies. Let's pivot for a moment, shall we? All right, let's hear from the other side.
That was a known empty apartment complex that the city knew of, that it was known TDA members were in that building. We knew there were going to be weapons in that location. There were people living in squatting in vacant apartments.
And there's your protest. And it gets violent at night. We can just watch some of that if we need to. But thank Governor, this is on October 1st.
President of the United States falsely claims that Chicago is crime-ridden. It is not crime-ridden. We are not in the top 25 or 30 cities in the country, big cities in the country, for violent crime.
Okay. All right then. Now, this is just the first one that I pulled up off the rip at the Council of Criminal Justice. The first thing that you scroll down to was the aggravated assault one. So I was like, oh, look at here. Well, that blue line's awful crazy. I don't know. Who could that be? Chicago, safe city over here. What does this mean? Look at this. And it goes by months. What's happening? We'll just do this year. 957 aggravated assaults in the month of February. March, 1,200. April, over 1,300. May, 1,400. June, 1,500. Does it look like it's getting better or worse? This doesn't even have in it the last couple of months. July, August, September. Wonder what it's looking like now. That is Chicago. Look at the rest of them. Look at this. There's Detroit. I don't know what you want to say about that, but that's Philadelphia. Well, we know what Zombieland is full of. We have Zombieland. I don't even know I don't even know how that dude says stuff with a straight face. Chicago. Look at it. It's not even touching any of the other scales of the count of aggravated assault from 2018 until 2025. We're perfectly safe around here. And I want to add this too, as I scroll down with the appendix of monthly crime rates. Again, we're 2018 to 2025. You see this graph, you can change this, but if you go down here and look at the keys with all these listed, look right here where Chicago is. It's got an X in every single daggum box. The only other city that has every X in every box is Colorado Springs. I'm sorry, what's happening in Colorado Springs with apartment complexes and gang members? If you look at this, the only people that have the pleasure of getting an X in every square is Colorado Springs and Chicago. Take a look. You can pause it if you want to. Chicago, an X in every one, right along with Colorado Springs. Yeah. And he calls everybody else a liar. And we can't forget about the old Safety Act, Pritzker, which took effect in 2023. I want you to look at the key thing here. While the act did not universally reduce all felonies to misdemeanors, well, setting the bar pretty low there, aren't we? It included provisions such as allowing citations, basically giving people a ticket, instead of arresting them and throwing them in jail for Class A misdemeanors and certain felonies. So Pritzker's just not putting them in jail. Now that's how they mess with the data, and the crime rate's going down. And the crime rate isn't going down. You got defunct governors out here that are reducing the charges on them, so it looks like the city's getting better with crime. I felt like adding a little bit more information can always be helpful. So this is on the actual Illinois legalaid.org website. So you think a bunch of kind of lawyers added in their 2 cents to this one. And it's legalaid.org talks about this cash bail changes. In 2023, tell which kind of Supreme Court we're dealing with here, the Illinois Supreme Court declared that legislation ending cash bail is constitutional. So they don't have to worry about that. Walk in, how you doing, and let right back out. What is this saying? I want you to see another part of this that's a little alarming. This also says here, Cook County update as of December 2nd. As of December 2nd of 2024. So over a year later, it says the Cook County prosecutors will seek pretrial detention for anyone accused of certain crimes, including firearm-related detainable felonies, DV, and sex offenses with weapons. With weapons. Oh, I guess now if you assault somebody like that, you're going to need something in your hand first. Felonies on public transit, murder Class C felony, sex crimes against young children, and CP cases. Well, thank baby Jesus. But look at this. Look at this right down here. What crimes lead to a citation? Means you get to walk out the door with a little ticket. You need to come to court. Class B misdemeanors, Class C misdemeanors, and petty business offenses. So what does this have to say about you? This is listing misdemeanors. Telephone harassment. It depends on I would think it would, hopefully you would think it would depend on what kind of telephone harassment, but I guess not here. Aggravated speeding, 31 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. You're in a 60 and you're going 91. Obstruction of service of process, littering, disorderly conduct, which can mean a lot of things, by the way. Look at this one. Assault, an unlawful attack by one person upon another person, including aggravated assault, simple assault, and intimidation. Aggravated assault. You don't even get thrown in jail in Illinois. You get a citation. I'm sure the victims of those crimes appreciate that. So let's hear from some of the people in Illinois that's actually having to deal with this no bail, no cash release system in Illinois. Let's just hear from people that actually have to deal with it. Apparently not the governor.
You'd be surprised what doesn't lead to jail time before trial since the implementation of the Safety Act 6 months ago. Adams County First Assistant State's Attorney Todd Eiler says burglary on its face value is not a detainable offense, not to be confused with residential burglary, which still is.
That's
burglary. When you rob somebody, don't worry about it.
Concerning, because that's somebody that is committing an attack, if you will, upon our community, upon the victim in that case.
But defendants are still required to come to court.
Wow.
And what happens if they don't?
We have to pay.
Can you believe it? I mean, but they still got to go to court. Well, thank baby Jesus for small miracles.
Overtime sometimes to go get people out of the county.
One issue Adams County Chief Deputy Patrick Frazier has with the law is that it requires suspects arrested on a warrant to be picked up within 5 days, no matter the location.
We use the normal staff that could be here at the courthouse in court or down in the jail. Since they're
So once they don't show up, then they're like, oh, well, now you got 5 days. They got to be in here in 5 days.
not posting that bond, they get out on their signature and off they go.
In the month following implementation, failure to appear numbers jumped about 25%,
Oh, shocker. Failure to appear has jumped by 25%. Who would have thunk it?
26 the month before to then 35. Frazier says jail inmate population is also down to 90 from roughly 120. The most common repeat offenders Eiler and Frazier see are those charged with certain drug crimes, for example, possession of methamphetamine. At that point, Eiler says no one benefits from a defendant's release.
What do you think is going to happen? They're going to go right back to where they were.
You don't need these people out if they're continuing to commit crime.
Eiler says they can
Wow, you think? You don't need these people out if they're going to continue to commit crimes. How many times was that guy arrested on that bus before he stabbed that Ukrainian woman to death? Was it 15 times? I forget exactly where that happened at. Was it Baltimore or something? I don't remember. But I mean, enough's enough. Like, these would just catch and release. You know, here's again, what he called liars. Here we go.
So Gregory Bovino lies consistently, as does Kristi Noem, the president, the vice president of the United States. It's a tidal wave of lies, and it's hard to overcome those lies because it's propaganda. The media seems to cover it more than they do what the truth actually is often. So we have.
Says the media's covering for him. The media, I guess he ain't been watching the media for a decade. Calls all of them liars. Says it's all propaganda. Right? We'll get to a good portion right here now. Hold on one second. Here you go. Here's nice little. I'm gonna add a little bit to that.
I would say just about Gregory Bovino. This is a guy who is instructing his people to fire gas pellets at people who are just expressing peacefully their First Amendment rights. You're allowed to yell things and hold a sign and protest. That is a fundamental right in the United States. And yet they fire tear gas, they fire rubber bullets at people. You saw
not if you were anywhere around the building on January 6th. Then you were an insurrectionist, and you deserved going into a federal prison for years. You had even a 65-year-old woman that prayed inside the halls and got, she deserved, 18 years in prison. He would have clapped for that. But now it's like, now it's in Chicago. It's like, it's totally in your right to protest. You don't like, It's selective protesting, I guess. And that's what brought me here to even do this video today, is the fact that he says things like that. Now let's check out some reality. This happened today. All right, this happened. Shout out to JLR because he's pulled this video. I'm going to utilize that. This has happened today in Chicago, where they were trying to pull over. ICE was trying to pull over an illegal that had a warrant out. And I just want you. I'm going to tell you now because I want you to pay attention because this matters. They said they was in the maroon SUV. You can tell the front end damage. This tow truck's going to pull up and back in to tow this vehicle away. Here's the front end of another vehicle. So they've been on a head-on collision. You can see by the fluids running here and here. They banged, pushed back. When you have a pretty high impact, it can push your car backwards. But I want you to look at what happened here. This was apparently the illegal immigrant. If you listen to reports, this is somebody they hit on in a head-on collision trying to flee ICE agents. It's something Pritzker called, peacefully demonstrating.
Over this scene. So this location is near 105th and Avenue N. Right now, we are following reports that there has been.
I want you to notice all these people protesting ICE that don't want them to come in here and remove illegal immigrants as they hold the Mexican flag, and this right here is an Ecuadorian flag. If you care so much about these, why did you flee from them? Why are you standing in America right now holding the flags of the country that you supposedly fled from? If you're that supportive of where you were, why are you here would be my first question.
A car crash of some sort involving federal immigration agents, but you can see what appears to be a very large group of agents there. We believe maybe roughly about 50 agents.
Imagine how many National Guardsmen, stuff that you would have to, and ICE agents, whatever, have out here just to try and arrest one guy. That is what's ridiculous. Not the fact that they're there trying to do a job, the fact that somebody needs this much protection because of where we are in this country where they think it's perfectly acceptable. Some crimes are cool until they're crimes to you. And then the first people you call is law enforcement. The next weekend, you're going to be out there to defund the police protest.
Are on scene right now. There was also a very large gathering of bystanders on the scene. Many that you can see from this picture are holding flags and signs and appear to be protesting the efforts of those agents. Now, we have also seen Chicago police on the scene here. Our reporter, Michelle Gallardo, is there on the scene trying to
They've got a reporter down on the ground, okay? You
work
can
and
see
get
people right here with cameras. Oh, they're all there to get the shots.
more information and learn more about
Mostly
exactly
peaceful.
what happened here.
Broad daylight.
And what led to this situation, and if there are any injuries. Not a whole lot of information being confirmed at this point.
Looks like a car accident with multiple vehicles.
Looking at the southeast side of the city of Chicago. Location is around 105th and Avenue.
She's going to talk to somebody they have on the scene. I'm going to get to. I don't want to play all this, but I'm going to get to the part that's pretty daggum. First off, I want you to hear the framing this woman gives. It's on the ground of what she reports. When you see right here what these vehicles look like. Here's the one she says what had the illegal in it. She's going to say it in a minute. He said he's on this side of the road and hit this person head on. Okay, here's the stop thing for the person for that side of the road. They've got it blocked off now because they're coming trying to take care of this. This person is on the correct side of the road. This person's vehicle is on the wrong side of the road. But don't you worry, it's ICE agents apparently that caused the crash, if you listen to her. It doesn't have anything to do with this vehicle being on the wrong side of the road.
About an hour ago when there was an accident right at this intersection. Apparently the accident, from what one of the neighbors is telling me, was caused by an ICE vehicle that was chasing a red...
What you're going to say right here, caused by the ICE agent that was chasing this red car. Who's been hitting the front end? And I'm sure that neighbor would give you the truth. Look at the image.
By an ICE vehicle that was chasing a red SUV, which is actually being towed away right now. I'm not sure if you're able to see that on the chopper video. In any case, what appears to have happened is that after this accident happened at the intersection, people from the neighborhood came out, and you can probably hear right now in the background the chants of ICE Go Home, but it just started to develop into an incredibly tense standoff between the people in the neighborhood and the ICE agents.
We told them to come out of their house and protest. And, remember the same as Maxine Waters, get in their face, shout at them, tell them you're not welcome here. Like they're just saying this about law enforcement and people here trying to remove people in the country illegally. Like that, it's rich to me. But you've heard that part. There's this red SUV. She called it out on there. You see who hit who in the front end. You see what side where the stop sign is and where this vehicle was. But you hear this TV. I don't even hate using this word. Journalist that is trying to frame it as of course it's ICE's fault. You can be on the wrong side of the road as long as you're fleeing from ICE. And if you cause an accident, of course it's their fault. Okay, again, listen to how these people that are recording live, some have no live, not long ago. I'm trying to do this, as a video. So this just happened earlier today. Not, this was streamed, it's still streaming probably, but this started like 2 hours ago. But listen to how she frames this. First is her eyewitness is an Uber driver from around the area. And then listen what she tries to say here.
Is this neighbor able to tell you anything about the occupant of that red SUV or how many people were in it?
No, he wasn't able to give me any information at all about that.
He wasn't able to give me any information at all about the occupants, but he knows this.
The only additional information he provided was about the one person who was arrested. He said that person was beaten up before being taken away.
He was beaten up. Okay, I can't tell you nothing. Can't tell you about who it was, how many people were in the car, but I could tell you he's beaten up. All these people standing out here with their cell phones recording, but this Uber driver's got the beat. He knows the dude was, he knows he was beaten up, y'all.
put into one of the other Border Patrol vehicles that was here. We were able to see the vehicle where we were told he was in, but we did not, the windows
Look at all
are
these people with their phones out recording. Look at all these people recording. Yep, beaten up.
tinted out, and we were
Again,
not
it requires all these people to apprehend one person, because this is what Governor Pritzker and Johnson have done to their city. This is what they have said about law enforcement and ICE agents and Homeland Security. But they're the bad people. They're the horrible people.
actually able to.
But I've got something I will show you as well. That's kind of crazy. Now I'm going to let JLR say this, because he covers a lot of this stuff, right when it's happening, all the time. So, he kind of knows what's been going on down there by covering it.
Crazy. It's getting very hostile. It's getting very serious in Chicago just in the last couple weeks. The Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, they're encouraging people to film ICE, confront ICE. First Amendment. Speak, defend Chicago. And at the result of this could have been
Remember, unless you was there on January 6th, and then you're an insurrectionist criminal who should be in federal prison for, 2 decades.
Situation where ICE agents
First Amendment's just right out the window.
Were in fear.
And I'm not talking about people that, broke windows or anything like that. I'm talking about people that didn't even have the door was standing wide open when we got there. Cops were standing right there. We've all seen the videos now. Cops were standing right there, gave what they called the QAnon shaman dude a freaking tour, trying to find him an unlocked door. Do you think any of those other people that were walking in knew they weren't supposed to come in when the door was being held open to them by law enforcement?
Had to run away, or somebody, a high-speed chase, or that led to a crash. Nevertheless, you see the mob out there. There's a mob out there. There's a mob of people.
Yep, a mob of people. Oh, let me find the beaten up guy. All right, here it is. I'm going to show you this
Our coverage right now of this breaking situation, again, happening at 105th and Avenue N.
Pay attention. Looks like they took him out of this car. You're going to see him walking by through here.
On the southeast side of Chicago.
Where's the wheelchair? I don't see the gurney. Don't see the ambulance coming in. But the Uber driver said that he was just beaten up, by the way.
It is a live picture that we have been following now for the last half an hour or so. We believe what you're looking at, and I'm seeing this picture along with you, is an arrest of some sort, someone being taken into custody at this intersection.
Can't really get in there, but I wasn't limping. I didn't see any blood on his face. But,
this situation has been going on for the last hour.
I'm sure the Uber driver's right? They couldn't tell you anything else, but they could tell you he's beaten up.
Or so we do have a crew there on the scene. They've had to
There's
move.
That now this is where it gets real interesting. Look at these people. Look at all these like guardsmen or Homeland Security or like ICE. This is ridiculous. All to take in one person, all the taxpayer money that is going to be shelled out to pay for all these people, because these idiots. It's like, these are the same people that will put out on their social media posts like, justice is blind and no one's above the law. And then they'll do this crap. No one's above the law except for who we say is. Now, look what happens right here. JLR is going to repeat something over and I might have to turn him down.
Through again when you first got on scene and you were able to talk to some neighbors and some witnesses there on the scene and describe to us what initially.
Judy, wait 1 second. Okay. I see Chicago police are arriving and putting themselves in the middle of the situation right now. It appears there might be someone in command, from what I can see, approaching the area. I'm not sure if this is an attempt to start dispersing the crowd.
They're waving. This person right here is trying to tell them to go back. Here's actual police. They're easy to tell apart.
But we have just in the last few seconds seen.
Now it's funny because the same on the ground, working for the old, Channel 7 ABC is these peaceful people, and they use tear gas, whatever. Watch what happens to her. Watch what happens.
Chicago police would remain that day.
I sound like him. I just got to say he repeated it.
now starting to put themselves in the middle of the, oh God, protest.
You see him chunking stuff? Look at him throwing stuff at him. The police actually arrive. It's weird how all these people feel emboldened to, as the Chicago PD pull up, that now they get to start hurling stuff at people. Isn't that weird? Don't you find that strange?
Put themselves in the middle of the,
right
oh
here.
God.
Look.
Protesters are starting to throw rocks. We're going to get away from the scene.
Just do right there. Look, do you hear?
Right
Listen
now,
to her.
protesters are starting to throw rocks. We're going to get away from the scene right now, Judy.
Okay, Michelle, you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to let her get off the phone. We really appreciate it.
She said protesters are starting to throw rocks. And then you wonder why people get arrested, why tear gas is used, where bullets are used. Or some people might, sometimes it's self-defense, somebody might get shot or whatever. It's like you listen to the news and it's all like, oh, these people didn't do anything. It's the big, bad, mean old cops out here, the ICE people or whatever. This woman's on the ground and it's almost in a moment of, she just true shock. And because she didn't have a minute to form a narrative, she has to say it's the demonstrators, the protesters that are hurling objects at them.
To a safe place. So what you're watching, what you continue to watch is exactly what Michelle has been describing.
Tear gas deployed.
Oh, has it with what she's been describing, huh? I must have missed that part. You said the people are hurling stuff at cops. I missed that one.
Again, at the intersection 105th and Avenue N. Last Michelle said as protesters started throwing rocks, and you can see that there is some chemical being deployed right there at this intersection. Just prior to this, you did see what appeared to be Chicago police officers and some commanders there trying to have some type of a dialogue with
and she says they pull up, try to have some type of a dialogue, and then all hell breaks loose. I find that just strange. That but I mean that just tells you how a lot of criminals feel in Chicago. They get a no cash bail. They can even commit aggravated assault and get a no cash bail, apparently. And then you wonder why they feel like they can just do whatever the heck they want to do. Wow.
protesters there
Watch
at
how
the
they all
intersection.
look.
It would
They all walk away when that stuff gets deployed. No wonder they deploy it.
seem that they were trying to disperse the crowd and maybe usher them off the street so that the agents.
And I don't know if you can see this, and I might be wrong, but it looks like this whole windshield. Maybe that's the stuff laying on the dash, but to me it almost looked like that windshield on this truck. Had been broke. But it could just be a bunch of stuff laying on the dash.
The crowd and maybe usher them off the street so that the agents could possibly move their vehicles. And it was at that point.
Oh, so they've deployed it. Listen to what she says, so they could possibly move their vehicles. Remember all that other stuff about when Pritzker said, oh, there's a claiming they were getting all boxed in and stuff. That's not happening. They're lying to you. This stuff is not really going on. This happened today, folks. Today.
That Michelle noticed that protesters started throwing rocks, and this is the end result. Earlier, we had heard that there were pepper balls being sprayed.
Yeah, earlier. Earlier we heard pepper balls were being sprayed. I wonder why. I'm sure it was just because, they were standing around thinking, today's a good day to deploy pepper balls at completely innocent people. Look at how much they stood around there and took and listened to. And then, but before they did anything like this, they had rocks hurled at them. It's almost like they feel like these agents should endure all the abuse that people can hurl at them and stand there and take it and do nothing. And yet when Antifa goes and firebombs federal buildings, I have this one horrible image in my head back in the day when these people were actually standing outside of a door with a hammer and trying to hit National Guardsmen over the head with it. You had that woman being led away from that building after they tried to sell Molotov cocktails. I think it was a federal building. I can't remember which one. It was like it was a staging point or something. And they're walking away. They film her saying, I hope every one of them burns alive in the building. All right, I'm gonna fast forward, see if there's anything else I want to show you, but I think it's about it. Rounds it out. Oh no, I have to add this because she just said it. I was starting to. She said, "Oh, I heard pepper balls." That's
Into
what she
the
says.
earlier, we had heard that there were pepper balls being sprayed into the crowd because someone had thrown eggs, or some neighbors had thrown something at the.
Oh, they threw eggs at them or something. And now when we're live recording, they're hurling, rocks at them, probably chunks of cinder block. If you ever watch any of these riots, yeah, but it probably like eggs. I bet you they were throwing marshmallows, the double stuff, more deadly. You know, I'm sure that's what it was. Got some feathers. They plucked out of the chicken in the backyard, just flinging them at them. I'm sure that's what it was. I'm sure. I'm sure it was cotton balls and foam, batting. I'm sure that's what it was. Couldn't have been like what we see right here with our own eyes. Rocks. But I'm going to let JLR say this as well, because again, he usually do these. I might start doing this live as well, because I'm usually around and see this stuff when it happens. But listen what he says.
Past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, ICE agents were cornered and boxed in by multiple vehicles. A woman got out with a gun who has been making threats towards ICE agents. It is organized. It is organized here. It's in their brains. It's in their brains that Pritzker and Brandon Johnson and some of the city council and some of the aldermen have put in people's brains here that they're all going to be snatched off the streets. And just regular citizens are being snatched off the streets in Chicago. They're putting it in their brains that they can do whatever they want to do to ICE agents. They're putting it in their brains. And it's emboldening. It's emboldening. It's emboldening.
Well, that's the problem. But, they don't take any accountability for the messaging that they put out, but they'll point fingers at everybody else that they don't like around them and accuse them. But all the things by calling them, derogatory names and demeaning who they are as civil servants, the people that are supposed to uphold the law. They'll say things like nobody's above the law, except apparently if you're living in their city and you've broken the law, federal law. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They don't like the person that's president right now. So anything he does, like I'm curious to even say, I'm up for this and see what they say about him ending Israel, what's going on with Israel and Palestine. I've seen some of the comments come out. Like it is horrific what some of the people have said. Like especially like Elizabeth Warren, I have called for their release. Like she did anything. It's just people have TDS, and it's whatever it is. They cannot give that president any of his flowers. It's nothing he does is good. Doesn't matter. And I'll add this just because it's probably true, and it's funny because like right here you see one with the camera right here, like watch. Right here filming it directly at it. Look at this poor victim. Watch.
This is okay. These are people probably see, and then you're probably got some journalists down there on the ground saying peaceful protesters got tear gas today.
Yeah, he got his video clip. Listen right here.
By ICE agents, peaceful protesters are just executing their First Amendment, rights. Got tear gas because ICE agents attacked people. Going to be careful about that too.
Propaganda. I remember what Pritzker tried to say about propaganda as he pushes it. But yeah, watch what he says here in a second too.
About the local media signing on. Now I think the journalist that was talking about this at this time was pretty objective in their reporting on this.
No, I don't think he listened to her clearly enough. She was relying on an Uber driver from the area that couldn't tell you anything except for the guy got beat up. And it was ICE's fault the accident happened. Those two things.
Particular report, but you got these activist journalists down on the ground there with certain news outlets like the Associated Press and on the ground, and they'll spin it a whole other way and say that ICE agents purposely attacked people in the streets today and spin it around.
Look, I don't know if you can tell this one. I just noticed it. Look down here on the ground. There's the tear gas canisters. They put them all in a pile, and you got this dude down here recording them. Like they've got them all together, put them down, and look at that. Like that is crazy.
ICE agents purposely attacked people in the streets today, spinning around. They'll use some video.
This is how much tear gas was used on the people that were doing absolutely nothing wrong. Never mind the chunks of concrete laying around on the ground. That was already there, we swear.
And some of the activists will take the videos and clip it up and make it look like ICE agents targeted everyone today, when you clearly saw some sort of accident. A crowd and a mob started surrounding Border Patrol and ICE agents. They created a perimeter. It started getting hostile, and then things were thrown at ICE agents, Border Patrol, and then they launched the tear gas and they left the scene. They had to escape. They had to get away.
That about sums it up. Let's see if there's any more. Then he brings this up, and I'm going to show a clip from something relevant here.
Or they're using their apps. They're using their apps and their communications and their little Facebook groups and Discord groups and Telegram groups and telling people, this is where ICE is. Come on, let's go confront them. And telling everyone in the neighborhood to come out and confront them.
Okay, this is Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, a week ago testifying in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. This is what no, is it the Senate? Yeah, okay. This is what she just testified a week ago about.
Now, in recent months, going along with this law enforcement effort, there's been a disturbing trend. It's a disturbing trend that seems to be on the increase in recent days and weeks. That is a rise of violence directed at federal law enforcement officers engaged in immigration-related arrests, including direct physical threats, organized riots outside of detention facilities, and most tragically, of late, a fatal shooting targeting an ICE facility in Dallas. Then just yesterday, it was reported that a cartel member in Chicago put a bounty, that's right, a bounty, out there.
And where was that? Oh, Chicago.
They're offering $2,000 on information about any ICE officer and $10,000 for those who kill an ICE officer. Now, keep in mind, this information is not for kicks and giggles. It is not for a game of Trivial Pursuit. That information, for which the cartel member would pay $2,000, is there so that others can kill an ICE officer and get $10,000. That's what that is. Can you discuss what protections are essential to ensuring the safety of ICE officers and their families, and why requirements to display personal information and prohibiting them from ever wearing any kind of covering would represent a totally unacceptable, indefensible risk to their public safety?
Senator Lee, our federal agents have been doxxed, and many of you know what that means. It has happened to you on both sides of the aisle. Our federal agents' lives have been threatened. We spoke with Apple and Google to get the ICE Block app taken down.
It's a block. I think it's the Block ICE. It was an app. Well, you hear they made an app targeting these agents and their locations, so people could do exactly like confront them and do what you just saw. What Maxine Waters said. Get in their face. Tell them they're not welcome here. Now you got a cartel member putting a price tag on their heads.
That was reckless. And
why do you think that a cartel member might be putting a price tag on their head in Chicago, where they were showing up at these abandoned apartment complexes, think they're supposed to be empty, where people are squatting, or that we've heard of these gang members that are taken, from Venezuela, from Mexico, that are taking over these places. I wonder why it come from Chicago, such a safe place, according to Pritzker.
Criminal in that people were posting where ICE officers lived. We worked with both Apple and Google to take that down.
It's stunning, I would add here, that it took as much work as it did by you to get them to take that down. Remember, in the days following January 6th, they took down all kinds of things, including a social media app called Parler, based on very thin evidence that was later largely rebutted, suggesting that people had been manipulating Parler in order to plan the January 6th attack.
Yeah, they did that. I forgot all about that when they came out and said that they were organizing on Parler or whatever. The Biden administration got that entire app taken down, and it was all based on a lie. It never happened. They don't talk about that stuff.
That wasn't true, and they took it down. I'm glad they have taken this block ICE app down, but it's a shame that it took as long as it did and as much work on your part to get them to take it down.
I will tell you they were cooperative, and to correct myself, it was where they were going, the jobs they were doing. And that's what's been happening because hundreds of organized rioters, Senator Lee, are showing up where our ICE officers are. And as you know, they have fireworks, they have gas masks. You know, they don't want our officers to be protected with their identity, yet they're wearing gas masks, they're wearing goggles. And they're
So it's okay for them to be safe. It's okay for Antifa to be safe. It's okay.
And then she said they're ramming
For those
cars.
doing the bidding of international violent drug cartels to be safe. But heaven forbid, our ICE officers should be safe.
That's yeah, there you go.
And I really believe that it's appropriate to call him out on the lies. And
It's appropriate to call him out on the lies. Same guy, same interview, governor of Illinois.
Portland, the president is lying about, Portland's on fire. That's just not happening. And
Portland's on fire. That's just not happening. Hey, Cap. Wonder who that is. Yep. Nothing happening there. The Truth King earlier,
Demonstrators in Portland, Oregon set multiple fires near the city's police association building overnight. It was all part of the 68th straight night of protest against
68 straight night of protests. 68 straight nights of protests.
and the police. Officers did not engage the crowds last night, even as some
officers did not engage the crowd. And then you wonder why he sends in the National Guard. They are doing this on the streets of Portland, and nobody did a damn thing to stop it. Who do you think tells the police to stand down when this stuff is going on? The mayor, the governor? Why would the police not go out there and shut this down? They set a dumpster on fire.
Drag this dumpster into the street and set it on fire. At the same time, other protesters worked to put out fires in the area.
Yeah, I'd love to see some of those. Notice there's no video of that happening. Just a little more evidence.
Suspicious fires set in and around the Irving Park neighborhood last night. Portland.
This is from 2 months ago, by the way. The earlier ones were from earlier, in the Summer of Love.
Fire and Rescue investigating to find out who may have started those fires. Our Ariel Salk talked with neighbors who woke up in the middle of the night to find their property on fire.
I ran down the stairs, and as I got to the front door, I opened it up and I saw, this thing was in flames.
A quiet night in the Irving neighborhood suddenly disappears.
The fire department, before you know, was over here helping put out this fire. And then they went over there into the park and put out some other fires. And then before you know it, that fire either reignited, and then we went over there and worked with a fire extinguisher and a hose and tried to put that out.
One man tells me strangers alerted him his work trailer was on fire.
I was in my bed and I heard the door knocking, and I saw this girl.
Nothing happening, though. Nothing happening. Oh, what? They're talking about fires in Portland.
Because I love that tree.
Portland Fire responded to 7 fires, a tent trailer which spread to a garage.
Wow, look at this.
A shed on Northeast Fremont, a stump in Irving Park, another tent trailer, this one in Northeast Siskiyou, a utility trailer on Northeast 8th Avenue, another fire in Irving Park, a dumpster, and a fire on Northeast 7th Avenue.
And they were going every which way, right, because there was so much activity.
Investigators are looking for surveillance video such as door cameras. They do not have a suspect or suspects.
It's akin to terrorism.
I wonder.
Terrorism to a certain way. I mean, putting a dump.
You just said it's akin to terrorism.
Have a suspect or suspects.
It's akin to terrorism to a certain way. I mean, putting a dumpster fire in there or something is a lot different than lighting a fire next to somebody's home, right? Very dangerous.
Ariel's.
Yep. Now, to be fair, I don't know what's caused this, but it's awful suspicious. That other video I just showed you 2 months ago, there was 7 fires set. Now we got this whole 2-alarm fire at a whole house and poor woman died. And you're like,
And we have more breaking news right now. We have now learned the name of the woman who was killed in a dramatic house fire in Tualatin this week. Neighbors say Michelle Volk was pulled from her home by.
I would look into like maybe these people's political leanings. I would be curious to see, even if they were suspicious of, like, it's curious to me.
By rescue crews when they arrived on scene Monday night. They found flames and heavy smoke.
And the thing is that could just be an actual house fire. But the reality is there's been so many that's set in this one town that are not natural or not, somebody in the house did it or whatever, that your suspicion should go up that this was set by somebody, with nefarious intentions living in that town. Remember, this is also the town that was handing out guns out of the back of trunks to people that living in, I think this where CHOP was when Portland took over like 2 city blocks, wouldn't let anybody through, but a 15-year-old kid died and all that. They wouldn't even let an ambulance through. He got thrown in the back of a truck and drove to a hospital. I can't remember if it was Portland or Seattle. I'm thinking it was Portland, but I could be wrong. So much peace has happened. It's hard to keep up. And just not to leave this one out. A couple of years ago, whole Kroger was set on fire.
Rick Graves with Portland Fire and Rescue tells us the challenge with this fire was finding adequate water supply. And Portland firefighters were even...
Like all these, Democratic states have water issues. Remember California? And they let all the reservoirs run out of water. Look at this. But nothing. No, it's totally cool. And this is going to make it probably longer than it needs to. That was the end of that, what I really wanted to say. But in closing this, I found this on the ground about the huge protest planned in Chicago's ICE facility. He uploaded this 2 days ago. And I just want you to see how this person was treated as he got there to kind of film and record what was going on, at the start of this. It is a glimpse into how these people that will scream at you about how peaceful they are and how, they want everybody's dignity. And you had Pritzker screaming about somebody's First Amendment rights. Watch what happens to this person's First Amendment rights in Chicago. Okay. So I'm going to let him talk a little bit. I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to have to turn it down and you'll understand why when I get there.
All right, guys, we are at Chicago ICE right now, or technically Broadview ICE. Everybody knows it colloquially as the Chicago ICE facility. Protest officially starts at 4 o'clock, and but I know there's some people here now, so we'll just be live until it ends.
Now I'm going to fast forward up until the part to where it'll become obvious. Now you can imagine this guy has a hat on that, it's like an American flag. Here comes this dude. Look, like he's kind of standing over here. He's walked in, and I could show you more, but he's standing around, and then he's just standing there, and then here's megaphone dude, or whatever, bullhorn, whatever you call it. I'm preemptively turning it down. It'll make sense. I don't want y'all to go deaf. Next to music, the Mexican flag. Look at it. Now you tell me, we're talking about ice ages. What does this do? Like what? Look at this, completely in black toboggan, black mask. Look at this. And then she's face covered. Like, does that dude look like he's there to do anything good? Well, or what do you think will happen when the lights go down? Who do you think would be in the middle of something nefarious going on? I don't know.
Chow, chow, chow to the fascist pigs! Chow, we're coming after you!
That's where he's
Yeah, let's do it whenever.
Because that's not destructive enough. Look at him. Look at he's like gritting his teeth. Like, just, I don't know. It's like, where do they find these people?
It's a good jam. Can you guys hear? We also hate fascists. I'm live.
Watch it right here. Turns on that noise, and I have to turn it down. I don't want to deafen you, but just keeps it going. Keeps it going. That's like the alert. Oh, there's somebody not welcome here or something. And just holds it down and just blares this noise. And he tries to have a conversation with this guy, and they're asking like, "What are you doing here? Why are you here?" And he's like, "I'm just, basically to report on it, to cover it." And like, I mean, it is just, these people have lost their minds.
But if I come and I think you're rational. If I come and I have conversation. They said, fuck you and your mother, and then they pepper spray me in the face.
And you can't hear this because of this dude's blaring bullhorn. So I can't even turn it up for you to hear it. Okay, this continues on. Like, you hear that noise. Look at him. Now this dude's recording him. Watch him slowly he's trying to get away. He's moved over here. And they're like, it gets worse. Remember? Brits are all about free speech, right? Have a right to assemble all this. Look. It's gonna get worse. Look. This dude right here is pointing it at him. Look at all of them following him. Look at him. You see him? Just flipping them off. Hey, look at this dude. This dude in the green shirt. Like, this is what you call harassment. You want to talk about somebody standing next to you with a bullhorn playing a noise like that? And then look, here's Black Bloc dude. And then look at him get right up in his face like that. Look at him get right up in his face.
This guy's calling me fat. I was trying to look out for this guy's calling me fat.
And then they start arguing about weight. Like,
do you see yourself? Can you ask the phone to turn this off from the car?
It's just, I'm going to get to the part though that's, they just keep harassing this guy. Look. Look at him. Look at them all. These are the loving people, by the way. These are accepting people. These are the people screaming about First Amendment. But look at how they look. Then people start confronting him. Look.
I'm not racist.
No, I'm asking you why they think you're racist.
I don't know, because they're idiots.
But you think it's because you support something that only targets certain
Look at him.
Also be white. And also, Obama deported 3 million people. Nobody complained when he did it. Nobody complained when he did it. Nobody complained when Clinton deported 1.2 million.
He's trying to make a point about Obama was the reporter in chief and nobody said a word. Look at him. I mean, it's like they surround you like a mob. Look at him now. They're almost like trying to stand in front of the guys. They're like trying to protect him or whatever. Like, you cannot hear any of this because this dude's bullhorn. So forget about having conversations or whatever. Look, they just keep it up. I was trying to find this one woman, gets in his face, tells you need to leave. You should go home. Here's Black Bloc. Again, you can't hear it because of the bullhorn noise. There she is. That lady right there, Miss Nosy with the purple bag, whatever it is. I mean, they again, it's just, anyway, Pritzker's talks about First Amendment, all this other stuff. Then they get in his face saying he needs to leave. What's he doing there? Like, again, so First Amendment's cool as long as it's people you like, but it's when it's people you don't like, shut them up, throw them in jail, Like, look here, what is he doing? Texting his Antifa friends? Like, who? This dude right here just looks like he's up to absolutely no good. This dude too right here, look at him, all completely covered. And if you've not seen the Antifa manual, that's what they do. Don't wear any jewelry or anything where you could be identified. Completely mask yourself up so you can't be identified. Who do you think if something bad's going to happen? Who do you think may be a part of that? Look at this. This is the dude that's, I mean, like, it is just yelling at go home and stuff. Look at how they are. Look, there he is right there. He's just bobbing his head thinking he's funny. Look at him all following him. Look. He's not been rude to anybody. He's not said anything hateful to anybody. Like, and this is how he's getting treated. I just did like shaking hands. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're doing a great job by accosting this guy in America for not doing anything wrong, demanding he leave." Like, look at him. Still can't hear because the horn's still going off.
No, Dallas, thank you for the $20 super chat. Yeah, I was telling them I have no issue with what they're doing right now.
How angry these people are. Got dude take a picture. They think they're really something. They think they're really something. Drinking his Pepsi. I mean, this is how you're treated when you go out and look, and they're all going to start coming up. Like, what are you doing here? You can't hear them, by the way. You still got that thing blaring. And then they're talking like, oh, there's the enemy. Don't talk to him. He's a traitor. Oh, no. Don't even know nothing about the guy. Look. Can't hear him. Trying to talk to him. Can't hear him. I really want to get to the woman. Because they all started like just accosting him. I probably already skipped over it. I thought it was right here somewhere. I wanted to get to woman.
I'm the Gripper. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Saying you love the Constitution.
His chat, poor chat's donating to him, like giving him money for the crap he's putting up with. I mean, look at him. They're all about, it's just being confronted by everybody.
Just patrolling.
Like they just swirl around you. It's intimidation. See, it's all trying to intimidate.
Calm thing. I don't think so. I think I'll stay.
Oh, nope, still going. See, look, what does this person do? Just standing there thinking they doing something. Look, get closer to him. Look. Talk about getting in somebody's personal space. There's a blue stripe. Oh, was that? Hang on, let's see if that was the MAGA hat that just walked through the screen. Oh, it is. Oh, they're gonna love that guy. Oh no. I'm doubting they're gonna mess with the old man as much as they're gonna mess with that young one though. Because when you get older, you just don't give a gosh darn. And they're just standing in front of him like that. It's so weird. Look at him going. Look at him trying to block his camera. Like, it's just, these people are weird. And they just, look, keep doing it. That dude's come up to him. Like, this dude is hurting no one, and yet they just can't leave him alone. Look, like, this is ridiculous. See, that would take so much restraint not to just lay that person out. That just constantly up in your face like that. You have to almost make a joke out of it because they're so ridiculous. Like, and I would love to turn it up.
Most of the
wait a minute, cut it off. You actually can have a conversation.
Sure, I appreciate it, man. It's. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, dude.
You don't guys want to? Well, no, I want to. This shit was all donated.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, no. I'm Brian. If you guys need to talk to me, I'm Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
And he's like, Brian tried to offer him a water. He's the one that was on the grass trying to talk to him. And then he said it was all donated. I'm sorry, but I probably wouldn't take any water from these people either. It's not trying. I mean, just think about it. I don't think that's would be smart.
Well, Brian, come here, talk to me.
What's up?
We can. So I'm doing like a radio thing right now. Spaces.
Who are you working?
I'm independent.
Oh, nice.
So Brian, all we're trying to do is cover this. I mean, we obviously got surrounded and all that, and
Now, see, look at him looking around because he knows the minute these people will now look at him, it's like a traitor for talking to him.
is this? Would you say this place is open to different ideas? And there's a lot of people listening right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've met people out here who don't
Can you guys hear him okay?
politically, but they just don't like.
Okay, go ahead.
Kind of like authoritarian. Like I've met conservative guys out here who are like all about small government and shit like that, and they just don't like seeing the federal government like doing such a huge like.
And now you see you got somebody over strumming a guitar. They can't even have a conversation with these people. But you know, it's just it's what they try to do is intimidate. But remember, they're the nice people. That one of them's got a Trump a sign out there. I think it's here that says Trump is a pedo. Like I mean, I'm telling you, these people should start suing folks. Like just having flags made that say that.
I'm independent. I put out what I want. I'll say. Oh wow! Why does it gotta be a sign?
Look.
Which company you guys sell trucking parts to? Valley Truck Parts. Who do you guys sell your parts to? Valley.
Wait, hat.
It's just a hat I got from the Valley.
Wait, hat.
Truck Parts.
He's asking about his hat. I missed that. What's his hat say? It's a trucker hat or something. I don't know. Got an issue with his hat now?
Well, why does it got to be a size?
Who do you sell truck parts to? Which company? Which company you guys sell trucking parts to?
And is he asking who he runs trucks for? What if, like, I'd tell Black Bloc dude anything about my private life. That'd be the dumbest thing you could ever imagine. He's asking him for what company, so they can go firebomb the business? I don't think so. This dude's asking private information about him when he's completely covered in Black Bloc. Hey, you can't see anything about me, but where do you work? Who do you know? What's your first and last name? Like, look at this.
He claimed that they canceled something of his. University of Arizona.
It's just crazy to me. But anyway, I had to end with this because he's just, I wish I could have made it Fountain Woman, but I guess I'm just not going to make it there. But yeah, he was just surrounded. And see, Black Bloc dude just out there. Oh, managed to take his shades off. I wonder why he'd be against a deportation. I don't know. But it's when the sun goes down that people get a little nuts. So anyway, that's how the tolerant left treated this guy that was just trying to cover that event. That's probably going to do it for me. I really wanted to show you what happened today with the that wreck in Chicago. And so I showed you a little bit more. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, give me some suggestions if you want me to cover anything else or whatever. Me and my cartoon character. That I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Peace out.